Rich.
Yes.
Welcome to JIB.
Welcome to JIB, everybody. Welcome to JIB. How many of you are segueing seamlessly from JIB land into JIB Con? How many of you are doing that? That's impressive. Now, how many of you are just now arriving to this portion of the program? How many of you are just doing JIB? Welcome. You don't even sound happy about it. Like, woo. A sad woo from the crowd.
Rich, it feels like, I don't know, it feels like just yesterday.
I'm having deja vu.
You and I were up here, just microphones in hand.
Just days ago, with Scotsman and...
Yeah. I believe last time you and I were right here,
yeah,
Lucifer was between us.
Right, he sure was.
Yeah.
Oh, Cy. Tom. And by the way, for those of you who attended JIB Land, that was a heck of a couple of days, right? That was fun. You know, we come out here and we talk about how fun things are, but obviously different experiences and different groups of people and different years fare differently for us. And I feel safe in saying that this JIB Land was a home run. It was a great group of people.
I agree.
Yeah, even our time backstage was as fun as our time on stage. It was a really cool group of people. So I give a lot of credit to Daniela for assembling a great and symbiotic team that they could have a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. You're always interested with something that's been going on 3, 4, 10 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
When new folks get inserted into the mix, you're excited to meet them and you're excited to work with them and you're sure it's going to be fine, but somewhere in the back of your mind you're like, what if it's not?
What if it's not? New guys.
Yeah.
New guys don't know our thing, man.
But they were awesome.
By the way, that's a little piece of Tom Ellis right there. Teeny tiny paper clippy. I speak in Italian, so you know what I'm saying. A teeny tiny paper clippy. Clippe della paper.
I don't speak Italian, Rich.
Oh, it's a paper clip.
Thank you.
Oh, that's not with the clothespin. Teeny tiny peanut of clothes. Itty bitty teeny tiny clothes in a bean. Clothes a peony. Almost sounds dirty. Rubber penny, clothes a penny. There it is. A little piece of Tom Ellis for us to think about.
That got an awe.
Yeah. Your awe was slightly happier than your whoa. How many of you are here for the first time? Yeah. Whoa. Oh wait, we were fake asking, now we should really ask. How many of you are here for the first time? How many of you are here for the second time? How many of you are here, yes, I'm going through the whole list, are here for the third time? Is there anybody out there celebrating their Quattro time? How about the fifth time? Out of curiosity, is anyone in the house today celebrating? I'll be back in a little while, probably. You have 4 times to come back. Their 6th time. I just wanted to know, in follow-up to that question, if perhaps there's anybody in the house who's enjoying their 7th time. Interesting.
Not a lot of 7s.
Here's a thought. Well, there's a lot of pissed off stuff. Like, woo, 7 sucked. Here's a thought. Maybe some of you continued on, and you're here celebrating your 8th time. She sure is.
She is excited.
And we certainly have limited her number, but if this gets louder than that, then somebody doesn't know their math. But how many of you are experiencing your 9th time? Doesn't make any sense. How can they? Okay, but it would be the same. Like you'd be screaming all the way down. See what I'm saying? Like,
oh, you're including all of the preceding
well, yeah,
numbers.
I would. Whatever. Here we go. That's good. Thanks, everybody. I'm kidding. How many of you are enjoying your 10th time?
I feel like you skipped one.
9th?
Did you do 9?
Yeah.
Did you do 8?
Yeah.
Did I do 7? Did I hit 6? I called out 5.
Wait. Did you do 4?
3? 2? What? Now, how many of you on stage are celebrating your first time? How many of you on stage are celebrating your second time? Here's a question I've always wanted to ask. Is anyone on stage enjoying their third time? Well, let me float this out there. Have any of the performers who are currently on stage been here a fourth time? And I wonder if perhaps there's anybody on the stage celebrating their 5th time. That leads me to ask the following. Is anyone on this stage celebrating their 6th time?
I love how committed you are.
I suppose that means you must be here to tear it up for your 7th time. Then I guess we have no choice but to move on to your 8th time. You know, I've always wondered if there's anyone on this stage here today in Rome as a part of JIB that is celebrating their 9th time. Fight on! Yeah! 9! Yeah! Woo! Feels good to be here. And then I wonder to myself, is there anyone on the stage celebrating the maximum number of years offered? Their 10th time. Anybody? Oh, look. I celebrated my coffee right out of the cup. Hey, everybody, it's our first JIB mess.
I doubt
Not even close.
Yeah.
It's our first one. So, Rich, I have a question for you.
It's my 9th time. Oh.
When, since this is technically just the intro,
Yeah.
the welcome, the how y'all doing.
How y'all doing?
Who's up first on the panel? Who welcomes everyone?
Oh.
No pressure. I just got to tell you, I'd feel bad for the person that has to start the 10th convention.
Yeah.
Just with a panel, because if it's not good.
I'll be honest though, I think the thought here was, I have the schedule on my phone, I think the thought here was start the panel, build up, right?
Okay, so start at the bottom.
Yeah, so we're aim high, it's gonna be a build, every guest better than the next.
Smart.
So we're gonna start with a washed up lame-o.
Right.
Somebody that they just thought fucking just throw on stage and kill some time. A filler guest,
Filler,
if you will.
yeah.
And that would be...
Ladies and gentlemen, get up for Richard Spade Jr.
It's me. I get to start. I'm starting the weekend. I'm not really starting the weekend because we started the week several days ago. It's awesome to be a part of the JIB10 thing now. Having done, I don't know if you know this, we haven't really touched on it, but I've been doing this convention. This is my 9th time. I don't know if we, yeah, thank you. But it's only my 2nd time doing JIB10, and that was really cool. JIB10 is a really, really awesome experience, and it's a unique sort of, we don't do a lot of conventions with other fandoms, Supernatural. We're kind of like the only children of conventions. We just show up by ourselves, and we get to play with all the toys, and our parents only love us. But every now and then we have to share. We don't share well, so we're not nice, we're not welcoming, and we're not good to other people. But when we're contractually obligated to do so, we certainly try. And I found that doing the JIB10 thing was really, really, really cool. the other people were super awesome, and it was interesting to meet. It's interesting to meet these dudes if you don't know their work, but if you know their work, it's kind of cool. So I watch American Gods, you know? I like that show. I haven't seen season 2 yet. Has anybody seen season 2 of American Gods? Is it good?
Yes.
Ricky's still the guy, right? He's still, okay. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, so I look forward to seeing that. Yeah, it's really neat kind of getting to co-mingle with people whose work you know, or whose work you don't know, and get to know them and see what they're up to, see what their lives are like, what makes them tick. You're not supernatural. I don't understand you. Walk me through it. A day in the life of somebody who's not a supernatural actor. Hard to believe there are those people, but there are. It's important that we reach out to them and embrace them like they're our own. We know we'll never love them as much as our own natural, supernatural children. How could we? But it's important that we pretend to try, and that we pretend to care. Because without pretend love, where would we be? And with that, there happens to be one person standing in a microphone, so rather than me continue on this rant, I'll take a question. You.
I don't know if you've been asked this yet, but can you hint at any songs that might be on your album coming up? Or
Sure, I could.
Left off?
I absolutely could hint. I could sing the whole thing for you, but I'm not gonna. No, I'm not gonna do the list thing because I don't know what's gonna stay and what's gonna go. It's not solidified yet. But I will say that Jason and I are having a great time. Oh, for those who don't know, doing an album with Jason Manns, I'm making a record. Jason is a man who is, you know, this kind, soft-spoken Virginian who's actually kind of an evil overlord who makes you do things that you didn't know you wanted to do, but he convinces you that you did, and then you do them, and you're glad you did, but at the same time, you realize, I've just been manipulated by that soft-spoken, boyish-faced son of a bitch. And yeah, it's really cool. It's way. I didn't know what to expect because I've played in bands my whole life, but I've recorded some music with those bands, but I've never done something on my own. That was my own project where the sole decision making was left to me, or me and Jason in this case, and I didn't really know what the process would feel like because I didn't know I was meeting the other musicians for, if not the first time we'd been pairing up to do something professionally. And so it came with its own sort of nerves for me. I was certainly nervous the first day, flat out nervous. And when I get nervous, I get quiet. So I was just a shadow figure in the studio that day, kind of watching it all play out. And since then, we've had many more days in the studio, and it's just been fantastic. It's just super fun discovering, you come in with an idea, and that idea may really, really work, or it may be a horrible idea. Either way, you give it the old college try, and you get these other brains involved who have more musical knowledge than you do, and you start hammering things out, and you start here, and you end up way over there, and you're like, I have no idea that when I came up with this idea, it was actually going to manifest itself and become that, and that is really cool. And I love that process of watching and listening and being a part of something that's germinating and becoming something that I didn't necessarily expect. So there are tunes that I'm super proud of, that I'm super excited about, that I think are going to be great. And there's some that I thought would be home runs that are just real piles of poop that we're probably going to toss. But that's the process. You're figuring it out. Everything's a rough draft until you get in there and start recording it. But we're recording a lot of stuff. We're being very efficient about it, so we should have a good number of 10 or so tracks on there. So it won't be it won't be a 4-song EP. There'll be a lot of stuff on there, and it should be really cool. I'm really excited about it.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Smattering. All right. You.
Hi, Richard.
Hello.
I have a question regarding the process of directing Supernatural.
Okay.
So if you sign up for the season, or if they come up to you and say, we want you to direct one of the episodes, do they go ahead and say, oh, you're going to be episode number 7, and you don't know anything yet about the story, or do you have any say in which script you want to direct?
You do not have any say. So the question about how does the process of becoming a director on the show work? When you get hired for a number. Like you're doing 1 episode, or you're doing 2 episodes, however many you're getting hired for, and then they assign you a number. They basically call your agent or call you and say, these are the dates we're going to use you, because they do the production schedule early on. They know when they're starting writing, when they start production. It's all very organized. And we do 20 episodes a year now. Schedule's broken out into 20 episodes, and they call and they say, all right, you're going to do number 6 and number 20. And so you slot out number 6 and number 20. They give you the dates of those jobs, and you have no idea what the story's going to be. And at that point, neither do they. Especially if it's a script that's later in the year. The writers are assigned their episodes too. Like, Andrew Dabb's doing this, Meredith Glynn's doing this, Steve Yockey's doing this, Davey Perez, the whole staff is sort of lined up with their episodes. So they know early on, because I'll get an email when I get officially assigned an episode, and the writers officially get assigned their episode. I'll get a text from Steve or somebody going, hey, we're doing an episode together. I'm like, cool, but we still don't know what that story is. And Steve will, or Meredith, or whoever the writer is, will break that story and come up with that story that has something to do with the grand scheme of the season arc, and then that's the story you get. So there's no designing an episode for a director. You don't go, well, I have Rich, so I'm going to write an episode that is this. They're writing whatever story they have in their head, and that works for the overall arc of the season. And it just sort of arbitrarily happens that it lands on your number. So you get handed whatever you get handed. Which is kind of cool, because it's sort of an artistic grab bag. You never know what's going to pop up, and you never know what kind of show you're going to get. I remember when I did the first episode I ever directed of Supernatural was called Just My Imagination. Yeah, it's a fun script. It was a fun episode, Imaginary Friends, written by Jenny Klein. And Jenny Klein, when after the episode came out, people said, oh, they picked the perfect episode for you. And I'd say, thank you. Appreciate that very much. Thank you so much. They didn't pick an episode for me. It was complete luck of the draw. Jenny had written this fantastic script, and I slotted into hers. Our names corresponded on this calendar, and it was luck of the draw. But I do feel very fortunate. I love the scripts I've gotten to do. I feel very connected to all the material I've been handed. Some more so than others, but I mean, Just My Imagination was an amazing first opportunity for me. A fantastic piece of material, fantastic story, comedy, drama, pathos, the kid element. It was all so great. And I felt very fortunate to be able to do that. And I felt very fortunate that Jenny Klein was so supportive, because you're a veteran writer of TV. You take your work very seriously. You want it to look awesome when you shoot it, when it's shot, and when it airs. And I can imagine there might be a bit of a deflation if you find out that your first episode, or your episode, is going to be directed by a first-time director. Because they don't have anything to look at to go, oh, well, he'll do great. He's done A, B, and C. I had done nothing. I had done TV commercials. That's not the same thing as an episode of TV. So I always very much apprecited how supportive Jenny was, because she was out of the gate. She's like, "Oh my God, this is so great." I'm like, "Is it? Are you sure?" Because I feel bad. Not that I wasn't excited about it and thought I would, do my best and do well, but I felt like, seeing it through her eyes, I was empathetic to the fact that she might not be that fired up, not to have one of the tried and true directors. But she was so supportive the whole way through. It was so kind of her to show that kind of support and enthusiasm. Even if she was faking it, I appreciated her faking it. It was really nice. And so I always tell that story when I'm talking about this stuff, because I think it speaks so wonderfully well of her character and her professionalism and support for her peers, that she was so gung-ho in spite of the fact that she didn't know how it was going to come out. But it came out pretty okay, so we did all right. Thank you for your question.
Thank you very much.
You.
So, we all know that Gabriel has a fondness for TV shows. If he was to pick a TV show he would go to on his bad days and his good days, what would those be? This question requires drinking.
Bad days and good days.
Yeah.
I feel like you've thought about this. I feel like you have ideas. I feel like Gabriel would enjoy being, obviously it's a go-to thing, but I think Gabriel would enjoy being in Game of Thrones. Because Richard would enjoy being in Game of Thrones, and I play Gabriel, and damn it, I want to be in Game of Thrones. So, I think Game of Thrones, but see, where would he go on a bad day? So that's a good day. Where would he go on a bad day? I think if he was in a bad day and he just needed to like cleanse his palate and feel better about himself, he'd go on Baywatch. Gabriel. Now Rich doesn't like Baywatch. That's Gabriel's thing. But Gabriel, he likes the ladies. And there's a lot of bathing suits, and it seems like where he'd go get a little sun and watch, see the sights. So I'm gonna go with that. Have you thought about this?
I actually didn't know. I was wondering, like, for Gabriel's character, yes, Game of Thrones seems very appropriate. He's chaotic, and that world would definitely fit. But Baywatch, yeah, I can see that.
Good. Then we concur.
I definitely agree. Thank you.
Thank you. You right there.
Hi, I'm a massive fan of King to Con.
Oh, thank you.
I understand you're currently writing series 2, so I just wanted to know how is it writing the second one from the first one, and have you got input from all the other guests?
Well, two things. We don't really have a home for season 2, so we're not that much into development of season 2. Season 2 there's a good chance there won't be a second season, because we spent a lot of years trying to figure out where to do it and have come up empty. So it's disappointing for us because season 1 is something I'm very proud of, but it's been really challenging the platform we did season 1 on in the States was a Lionsgate digital platform, and it didn't succeed as a platform. The show did great, but the platform didn't succeed, so it went away, and finding a second home has been really difficult. The show exists on CW Seed, which is great, but I'm not sure we're going to be able to do another season there with their format. The thing about it is, and I know everybody wants us to do a second season, and I do too, but what I won't do is do something that is subpar to what we've already done. So if I can't figure out a way to fund it properly and deliver it in a way that I'm proud of, I'm not going to do it just to do it. It doesn't make any sense. Because although it is fun and goofy, it also is going to be 6 months of my life directing it, producing it, and post-productioning it, and getting it out there. And if I don't have the means to do it in a way that I can tell the story, make the jokes, and get the characters in it that I want, then there's no point in me doing it. I'd rather leave what we have as a great testament to the effort and the stories we had to tell at first, and not sully it by doing something crappy and throwing it out just to say we had a second season. So as it stands now, it doesn't look very positive to get a second season going, unfortunately. So that said, we're not that deep into writing, because we're not going to sit around and write just to make ourselves giggle. If there's at the end of the day, it's still a job, and it's still something we want to get done. And so it's not looking like that's going to happen. And so Robbie and I we'd outlined the scripts and stuff, and in terms of getting input from the other characters, we don't really do that. Robbie and I do it all on our own. We will make notes during life. If something funny happens, or if there's a banter thing between us on stage or off stage, or if Matt does something funny or anything that happens, we keep a little note sheet, and that's how we end up incorporating real things into the stories. But we never really go to the team and go, "What's funny, guys?" Like that's something we do on our own, because we kind of, we're protective of the universe and the stories. And then when we were shooting it, people would come in and say, "Ooh, wouldn't it be fun if we did this, that, and the other?" And we can sort of mold what people are doing on the day using their creative input. But the stories and the format and everything are written by us. Now, if things change, if we find a home, if something changes and we're able to find a place to do the show, we'd love to do it. So we haven't totally given up hope. But at a certain point, hell, it's been 2 years. It's been really challenging to figure it out. Which makes sense, because if it were easy, everybody would do it. So I get it.
If I win the lottery, the money's yours.
Say it again?
If I win the lottery, the money's yours.
Oh, well, thank you. That's probably, there's probably other things you should do with the money if you win the lottery. But I do appreciate the blind support in the unlikely event that you win the lottery. But But thank you so much. And you know, I'm sorry to be a downer, but I also don't like staying up here and going, we're trying, and we're trying, but you know, crap, man, it's been a long time. And Robbie and I have other projects that we work on. It's just, it may just be that was that. So we'll have to find out.
Cool. Appreciate what we have anyway.
Same, I do, and that's why I value it, which is why I'm not going to do something to devalue it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hey.
So my question is, what is one of the craziest or most ridiculous adventures you've been on? Maybe at home or on holiday or something.
Craziest adventure I've ever been on? I'm not that crazy a guy. I don't do any crazy things. I was on a train with Jared once. Did you guys see, I know a lot of you guys follow the social media apps of Twitter and Instagram and those kind of things. And a while ago, I can't remember, go back a year or something, I think around Jared's birthday, I posted a photo from the train. You guys have all heard the train story. I posted a photo of the train, of Jared pointing at the busted alarm that I did not know I had taken. I was going back and looking for photos of the family, and I was just going through the computer, and in the midst of all, you know, convention pictures, I kind of snap a few at every con. I clicked on, you know, 2011, which is when it was, which is really a long time ago. And there's a picture of Jared just going, So, if I find it, I'll repost it so you can revisit it if you haven't seen it. But I thought it was kind of great, having a little keepsake from the story that has been so legendary for so many years. Let's see if I've done anything crazier than be with Jared. Gosh, I don't really know.
What about the cat story that proves Rob?
I'm not Rob. I can't tell Rob's cat story. I wasn't there, that wasn't my adventure. No, that's Rob's story to tell. Rob has a cat that shits on his chest, but that's Rob's story. Far be it from me to get into his fetishes. It's crazy adventures I've had. Traveling. I've done so much traveling. I think one of the benefits of doing conventions is getting to travel places. I would never have been in Rome, I don't think, except for the fact that I'm here for conventions, which is amazing. I've been to Rio for conventions, which is amazing. Been to Germany, and all these things, and we always try to, whenever I visit another country, I try to, or even another city in the United States, I try to do something that is outside the convention, do something, you know, catch a show or go see a museum or jog through a park or something that is that city, because I find that to be such a benefit of what we get to do, of what we get to visit. I remember with Mark Shepard in Rio, and we were coming back. I was by myself, and Mark was going to the hotel, was hanging around the hotel lobby, and Mark and I didn't know each other super well back then. And he's like, I'm like, what are you gonna do right now, Mark? He's like, sit around the lobby. I'm like, well, you want to do something else? Let's go out. Let's go do something. It's fine stuff. Like, no. I'm like, come on, man, come on, all right, let's do it. He's like, all right. So I rented a car, and the car took us up to that Jesus Christ statue. And I have moments like that where I find myself standing, there's a really great picture I have of that too, of me and Mark with the statue behind us, where I find myself in places like that. And I always find myself thinking about my family, who didn't travel like that. They, you know, I'm not from dirt farmers. My parents did fine, but they didn't, you know, they didn't leave the country much, and they certainly didn't go to some of the places I've been. And I think that's cool that I get to do certain things. That a show that I did one episode of as a janitor turned into me on a mountaintop in Brazil with the Jesus statue behind me with a very angry Englishman by my side. It's just kind of interesting how life takes you and does crazy things, and you know, one of the craziest adventures I've ever been on, parenthood. That's the craziest adventure I've ever been on. I have 3 children, and as anybody will tell you about children, is they are all different. And it's awesome, and I think that's the most exciting and emotional and taxing experience that I will ever have. That will supersede any crazy boat story with Jared, or train story with Jared, or land-based story with Jared ruining things. I mean, I think...
Airplane story.
Well, you know what? Honestly, having Jared as a friend is like having a fourth child. So in many ways, there are a lot of parallels. Speaking of children, ladies and gentlemen, the very childlike and hairless, I assume, Matt Cohen, everybody. He's on FaceTime, or are you on FaceTime?
Mrs. Cohen.
Hi, Mrs. Cohen.
All right, bye.
Was that live or was that recording, like a video?
Well, yeah, it was a video, but I'm sending it to her
Awesome.
right now. How are we doing, guys? I have to find myself or something.
I know.
13 monitors back there, like they're editing live. They got this thing here.
Right, I know.
Which I'm gonna have a real hard time not looking at my armpit sweat stains on.
They're darker on the screen.
Yeah.
By the way, you haven't seen him yet, so once again, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Cohen in the house, right there.
And is it true, or am I incorrect that we get to spend some
We have a little time on set. We're doing this now.
Good old days.
I know,
It's
dusting off the classic.
Matt and Rich up here trying to figure it out.
That's good. You're welcome. You're a breath of fresh air, man. It's been a great couple of days, but it's great to have you.
I would describe myself the same way.
As a breath of fresh air?
Yeah, really.
He always said, hey, it's Cool Breeze Matt.
Yeah.
What's going on, man?
I walk in a room and it's like, wow, did you feel that? Or just,
You're welcome, everybody.
it feels good in there. I'm
Give
the
me
only
my
one.
Quattro Ovas.
That's right. Quattro Ova.
Per favore, Quattro Ova.
Well, Richard thinks it's funny because
Grazie mille.
I like to order 4 eggs for breakfast, and that, for some reason, is pure comedy to Rich. I don't know.
Because I've known you so long, and I can order for you, and that's how you know you travel with somebody too much. It's like I'm not sure what my wife wants for breakfast, but I know what you do. And I don't know what that says about our journey.
Well, when I go to your house and I am yelling at your wife, Quattro Ovos, you'll understand that.
Yeah, she'll say, "Why are you at my house this early in the morning?"
And why are you yelling 4 eggs at me, Matt? Stop it.
In not your native tongue. You know what? Let's take a question because
Let's
we're
have a
here. and
question.
Let's do it. We're having. All right, you
Wait,
go.
can I just appreciate the lighting for a second? They have lit the question microphone?
Yeah, man. No, it's really well done.
Hey, props to the technical crew and props to everybody behind the scenes here at JIB. Crushing it. I just want you to know you look lovely, pleasantly lit. I'm waiting for your very mysterious question. We could use a little ambience.
I'm usually describing you as pleasantly lit. I'm not sure you're not right now.
Oh, well, and your question is?
Thank you, and hi, Matt. Hi, Richard. You make me so nervous. And attention, please. My typical question is.
Wait, I'm so sorry. I can't hear you. Can you come here?
No.
Come with me. No? Come with me. Come on, we're taking you up here.
Matt likes to see. You should never have said you make me nervous because now Matt's going to help you get over your stage fright by scaring the shit out of you. See, this is very easy. You come up here, you take a seat, and now you have to ask your question from the stage.
It's really untreated.
It's really. I know it's nerve-wracking, and it's even weirder when Matt and I leave stage.
You have great timing. Enjoy the rest of the show.
I'm kidding.
Come on. I can't feel my legs.
And it is true. I can't see anybody downstairs.
Doesn't it feel more comfortable when you can't see them?
No, I don't even know my name now.
You know what? I don't know your name either.
We're even.
Should we remind each other, or have you forgotten totally?
I've forgotten all about me.
Do you remember your question?
Yes. No, I said, attention please. My typical question is about superpower. And the question for Richard is, what kind of superpower? What kind of superpower do you expect to have when you are directing? And for you, what kind of superpower do you want to have when you are getting along with Mac?
That is Matt.
Mac.
Oh, yes. All right. What do you want to say?
Superpower when directing. Superpower directing. I would be the master of time.
Yeah, I was gonna
so I could slow time or speed time up, so I could get the shots done in the amount of time allotted. And if I didn't have enough time, expand time.
Yeah.
And I would give myself enough time to finish my day.
I know. That would be
Master of time.
like Rich jumps in and he's like, "Hi, I'm Captain Make the Day."
And then I look at my watch, like, what do you know? I made the day right on time. And then I fly away, kerflaff, to my Prius.
This is a damn truth, isn't it? My power, and this just came to me right now, and I wanted to make a big joke out of it, but I would love to be able to have a superpower to rewind time to any moment in my son's life. From now he's 4, he turned 4 2 weeks ago, and I would love to have the ability to jump back to holding a newborn him for a second, or seeing him walk at 9 or 10 months, whatever it was, jumping back to those moments. Now that being said, I just want to jump back to those moments for a second, and I like the age of 4 very much. The little guy at age 4 is by far my favorite experience of his life, but I miss the other times a little bit, so that would be my superpower, traveling in time, back in time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you for your question.
Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for our nameless guest. Thank you, dear.
All right, you right there.
Hello.
Hi.
So I stole this question from someone else from JIB10 because I thought it was a really interesting question. So thanks for your idea. And it's, do you like to know your when you get a role as an actor, do you like to know your character arc beforehand and where the story is going, or do you like to be surprised?
Well, it depends. If you're doing a movie, you're going to know the story arc because it's a movie. If it's TV, you're never going to know the story arc unless it's like a shot like a movie.
Like a miniseries.
Yeah, like a True Detective or something.
Yeah.
So I think there are benefits to both. If you know the arc, then you can prepare the full range of the character. And if it's TV, one of the benefits of TV is you never know what you're going to get. So to me, I don't think there's an answer there because they're two different mediums completely. But I do think that's one of the fun things of TV is not knowing what your character's going to do. I think that's kind of cool for the TV model.
Yeah, I agree on the same thing. Coming off out of the soap world, you really don't know what your character's doing the next day most of the time. So it's fun to try to play scenes sometimes with more layers than necessary, if that makes any sense to you. Try to overfill the moments that you can find. So in the soap world, in American soap operas, you do one episode every day. So constant dialogue, constant over and over and over, and then you just kind of become this person living within these made-up stories that happen all the time. I think it's fun. I think a movie where you know the arc, you can play the arc, right? You can really prepare that performance, you can really do the background work, but it's fun both ways for sure.
Challenging both ways.
I don't have a favorite.
Thank you for the question. And thank you for having me on stage, and thank you for being here for JIB the 10th year. I'm taking off and leaving you with Mr. Matt Cohen.
Here, ladies and gentlemen, Richard Spade Jr.
Matthew Cohen. See you guys later.
Oh man, what do we do now? Rich is gone, shit is gonna hit the fan. Reel it in. Is this a bubble maker or fog machine? Does anybody know what this cube is up here?
Smoke machine, I think.
Is it gonna hit a button and it's gonna start doing something? I'm hoping it is as a fog or bubble machine. I'd be happy with either.
I think it's fog.
You think it's fog? Are you a fog machine expert there, Liz? Nice to see you, by the way. I'm like, why am I talking to you right now? What is happening here? Oh, it's because you're here. This is not me hallucinating from jet lag and being hungover. Good to know. Well, hello. Hi. Hi. Am I good? make sure. Would you like to ask a question?
Yes, I'd like to ask a question.
You want to do it from up here? No. This is Rome. I don't know what's going to happen ever. I have zero preparation. Go ahead.
I would like to ask about your movie Mama Bear and how you got involved.
Well, Mama Bear is in the process of getting funded right now, so thank you to everybody who gave $1 to letting me make this movie, which is looking very much like it's going to be turned into an actual real movie. So I'm blown away. I never expected anything. I set out to make Mama Bear for 2 reasons. One was to get into Warner Brothers directing school and kind of follow in, you know, my buddy and mentor Richard Spade Jr.'s steps and learn to direct from the best program in the world. And also I wanted to launch my wife back into acting. She took 3 years off to stay at home with my son, and I am forever grateful, infinity times for that. It's such an honor to have a woman that's willing to step away from her career and do that. So I wanted to throw her back into Hollywood the way I saw her, as a badass, as a powerful, strong woman, not as, you know, the teen girl she played before. I wanted her to have this other thing. So I said I want to get into directing school, and I wanted to get her back in the business. Now you'll hear this first, and this is not a spoiler alert, but this is unknown in the States. She booked, I quit General Hospital, she booked General Hospital. She's not a contract role yet. She's just, you know, doing a couple episodes with them over there. Don't tweet it out, pretty please, or I will get her in trouble. But yeah, so my goal has worked. I made a movie. I wanted to show the power of a badass woman as an action hero and how being a mother changes you in so many different ways. And I was able to do that, and I was able to, you know, I called casting. His name is Mark Teschner, the guy who cast General Hospital, and I said, buddy, if you could do one thing for me before you see my wife, I just want you to watch this Mama Bear thing that I directed. Watch it for me as a guy, you know, we have a great relationship. Don't watch it because I'm trying to do her a favor, but see her in this light before you see her in her old stuff that she's done in Hollywood. So they watched the thing, and she went in, and she auditioned, she booked that job. She's actually literally just sent me a picture from set right now. She's on set. Let me see if I can show you guys. There it is. Where's the close-up camera? Do we have one up here? Can you zoom in? Anyways, this is just her in her dressing room, and it's a big deal because it's been 4 years since she's been on a set, and I'm so damn proud of her, and it's such an incredible day. It's a big deal to me. It's hard to fully explain. It really is. It's hard to fully explain. Oh, the Bobbles are here! And Jared.
Reeve.
No, Jared, that's Reeve.
I'm just kidding. It's not Jared, but
It's Tiny Reeve.
it looks a little bit like Jared. I mean, look how long those legs are. You'd think this guy's like 7 foot tall. But, and the other part, before I go on a tangent about that doll, the other part is, I did get into Warner Brothers directing school, which is a huge deal. Unfortunately, because of the next 3 weeks of work, I've had to withdraw from Warner Brothers directing school, painfully. But, you know, they're willing to entertain me coming back next year, potentially. So we'll see what happens. There's so many wonderful things happening in my life, and I don't know what tomorrow brings. And that's the scary part and both the exciting part at the same time. So in a month, I could announce that we're making Mama Bear for $10 million. In a month, I could say we're making it for $1 million with the entire Supernatural cast. In a month, I could be on the show. Like, I just don't know what tomorrow brings, but it's full of excitement, and I'm happy, and I'm so grateful. I'm here sharing those 2 stories I just told you. Nobody else knows. I haven't told anybody. And if Daniela wants, at some point, she could play Mama Bear in here for you guys. It's 13 minutes long. You know, if you guys want to see it and she can find time, you guys can scream. And it's a Vimeo length, you know, so it's no problem for them to throw up. But yeah, I don't know if I answered your question at all, but how about, can I just say, I'm so happy. Everything in life is perfect in Rome with you people. So I'm delighted. Thank you so much for your question.
Thank you so much.
Hi there.
Hi.
So this is sort of a follow-up question to Mama Bear.
Oh, I couldn't even see. I was like, who's talking?
It's okay. You did, or I'm assuming you did, the Philadelphia Film Festival last weekend?
I was in the film festival, but I wasn't personally there.
Oh, okay. So I was just wondering, how did it go? I had a ticket to go, but due to my frantic last-minute packing and not getting it done,
Yeah.
I wasn't able to go to see it, but I wanted to know what the response was to it.
I haven't got a lot of response. We didn't win any awards there, but we continue to win awards in other festivals. I mean, just getting into Philadelphia was a pretty big deal. You know, to get your film seen by anybody, to allow them to take, you know, what's not really a traditional short film into any film festival was an honor. I mean, we've won Best Actress, Best Score, 3-time Best Director, Best Producer, like you name it, and we've won an award for it. So I don't, at this point, I don't even really pay attention to it anymore. They don't mean anything to me unless I'm making this movie or, you know, something to develop the movie further, you know, down that road. I'm thrilled that one film festival took us. We're in like 10 now or 15 or so. And I don't know, you know, I went to one little short film festival in LA and I watched the film, and it was like on a smaller screen than this at the festival, and it was good, it was great, but I don't need to see it anymore. I don't need to see my film anymore. I want you guys to see it. I want everybody else to see it. I want to make it a movie. I want to prove what I can do that's different. I got a different vision, you know, and that's just my goal at this point. Every day is forward. I caught one. See that?
There's 2 on your hair.
There's 2 on my hair? I'm like an angel.
Still there.
Yeah, I don't know how we did in Philly, but we got in Philly. And to be an official selection at any film festival is an honor. You know, there's thousands of films that don't get picked, and we got picked, and I'm just, you know, blessed and thankful. Again, if every answer I'm going to give to this is probably going to end in I'm grateful, I'm blessed, I'm thankful.
There's nothing wrong with that.
All right, thanks. Let me know if it gets repetitive. I'll shut up. I'll just say it to myself. But thank you so much for your question. Hi, over here.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going well.
It's going well. You were like hesitant. What's not going well? Let's fix it right now.
The light in my
The light in your eyes? Welcome to my world. I don't even know if I'm talking to anybody besides a curtain right now. I can't see anything.
Oh, it's fine.
Go ahead.
Before I ask my question, can I ask you to spin the wheel?
Can you ask me? Oh, I forgot about this thing. What are we hoping for? Not hoping for this one. Sing, dance, surprise. Oh boy. There's 2 drinks on here? What is this? Sabotage. 2 singing, 2 dancing, 2 surprises. All right, here we go. Well, shit! I guess it's gotta be apple juice, right?
Gather round, ye lads and lasses, sit for a while.
Smells like good apple juice.
Find the tale about the Emerald Isle. Let's all raise our glasses.
Is this here for something? Should I know about this?
Lift our voices in another rise.
Does he play the guitar with this or something? He's a handsome devil, isn't he? Jesus.
Pun intended.
Brother in the troubles met with his demise.
Salute, Roma! Delicious. Now your question?
I just wanted
Or should I make you come up here and spin the wheel since you made me do it?
That's okay.
I like putting you guys on the spot. I'm gonna make you guys uncomfortable this year. Go ahead.
Sorry. If you could have dinner with someone that, alive or dead, who would you choose and why?
My father, because I don't see him enough and don't talk to him enough, and I would love to just sit down at dinner with him. It's something I haven't done in probably, and this is sad to say, but literally 15 or 20 years I haven't sat down with, eaten dinner. I know. I feel the same way about it, but he lives in Florida and I live in LA, and he's got his life and I have my life, and we talk on the phone. But if I had a moment in time to slow everything down and put a man in a chair across from me, it would be him. That's the simple answer to that. I don't get enough of my father, and I know he doesn't get enough of me. And I'm at the point in my career where I don't have any days off. Every day's working hard, and I know he's at the same place. You all right? Need a hug? Can I come give you a hug? This is what we do, man. We hug here, and we love here, and we cry here, and we laugh here. Well, thank you for your question. I appreciate it. And don't be scared to cry. I'm sure I'll cry sometime during the weekend. That's what life's about, man. You guys gotta just, whatever it is, just go with it. However you're feeling, just go with it. Just be true to yourself, you know. We only have today, and we don't know anything about tomorrow, you know. Outside that we're all at a convention for 3 days. We know this. But we don't know what can happen, you know, so don't hold back whatever it is that's inside you that needs to come out.
So call your father. Yeah.
I do call him.
No.
He's too busy to answer the phone. I need you to call my father, and you tell him to answer the damn phone call. Seriously, we call him right now, and he'll send me to voicemail. You over there, come on, hit me with the best question in the world.
So, I love all the posts that you do with you and your son. I just think they're adorable.
Well, thank you. He is by far the best thing I've ever done with my life.
Yeah, but do you ever worry that like he's gonna look at these when he's older and be like,
No, and you know why? Because his older is going to look a whole lot different than this day right here today. There's the world and relationships will likely revolve around some sort of social network. Like, where do you think it's going? Look where we've gone. Like less than 10 years ago, there was no Twitter, there was no iPhone, there was, you know, imagine what you're seeing. And so like, me putting him out there, I feel, and I always ask him, I'm like, I'm gonna put this out so I can show Dad his friends at work. You guys are my friends at work. He doesn't really know what I do. He knows that he knows that my wife and I made Mama Bear together, and it's an action movie, and she like kicks ass in it. He knows this, and he's like, Mama, like he hasn't seen it, you know, he's 4, I haven't shown him any of this stuff, but he's like, Mama, I'm gonna act like Mama Bear right now, and he'll be like, and he doesn't know anything. He starts like throwing these random body things that he's doing, and he's like, was that good acting, Dad? And I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, that was pretty good. Just don't. And then he'll be like, we watched Moana the other night. Surprise. Those of you that know me know that's not a surprise. And we watched Moana, and he's like, at 4, he's registering that movie different than he registered at 2. So he's like, Dad, can you be Taka while he's Moana in the raise your hand if you see Moana. So at the end, she holds up the green heart of Taka, or is it Tafiti, and then it turns to Taka, or it's Taka, then turns to Tafiti? And I thought you people saw this movie. Either way, the lava monster, Taka, right? Taka, the lava monster. That's how The Rock says, Taka. And so I'm like on the one side of the room, he's holding up a green marble, you know, and I'm like going for it like the movie does, and he is acting in slow motion, and he's going. And I like suddenly slow down, and I'm suddenly like, I'm doing the thing, and we get like 3 feet from each other, and he goes, Dad, stop, Can you do it like you mean it, like you feel it? And I'm like within this moment, like, oh shit, you just figured it all out. What took me until like the last week to figure out in my acting and directing career. Like you know, the kids are so amazing because they just have that wide open, there's nothing wrong mentally. They're not worried, they're not like shy, you know, they just got this like, if you allow them to spread their mind open, it's incredible what happens. So thinks he's an actor, and he thinks he can probably do it better than me, which he probably can. you probably can do it better than me if I could direct him on a set. So now, as of recently, I've been like, oh, let me film us doing this scene. And then he'll look at the camera and I'll be like, the trick is, we gotta do the whole thing, but you can't look in the camera. So he'll like, if Krista here is the camera, he'll be like, like, he has to like make sure it's still there, kind of. It's the cutest damn thing. I promise when I get home, I'll put some videos up of this so you guys can see it, because you'll fall out of your chair laughing. Wait, what was your question?
Pretty much that.
All right, great. I'm glad I could assist you in kind of answering whatever the hell it is you said to me. Thank you. Oh, guys. You're clapping so kind. Hi.
Hi. My question is, what's your favorite movie? And if you could play a character in an old movie, what would that be?
I don't know what my favorite movie is right now. Gosh. You know, I'm in deep in like the action world because of Mama Bear and how I want to make it, and I want to make it bigger and crazier and weirder than other action movies. But I'm really, a lot of my influence is the John Wick series at this point. So I'm really excited to see the third one of those. And if I could play a character, it's not from a movie, but Ricky Whittle. Raise your hand if you met Ricky. I ain't met him yet, but I'm super excited to meet him because American Gods is one of my favorite shows, stylistically, character-wise. And if I could play any character on anything ever right now, it would be the Leprechaun on that show. If you guys haven't seen, Pablo Schreiber play a 6'5" leprechaun that's like a bar-fighting maniac with the perfect accent. I mean, it's like if you like blew up Adam Fergus, you know what I'm saying? And then you have this intense red-headed mohawk, just opposite of what you believe is like the leprechaun, like I am a little leprechaun. Like it's not that. It's like this like. He's just such a badass, and he's like that's the type of character I want to play. I want to step outside of, hey, what's up, I'm Matt. Let me just take my shirt off and show you I can play a character. Oh, segue. June 2nd and 3rd, segue. Tangent. I'm gonna get a chance to play a character that you all love so much. And no, it's not on Supernatural, so don't get your hopes up. I mean, it is season 15. If they were gonna bring me back, it better be now. There's a bubble on my arm, look at that. I'm gonna leave it there. They're still in my hair.
You'll be there forever.
And that's where they'll stay. The hell was I saying?
Segue.
Yo, I love when I ask you guys a question. It's just like, one person, tell me what I was saying.
You have a role?
Something on June 2nd and 3rd, thank you. June 2nd and 3rd, I'm gonna play a character that you guys love. And you know what? I can't give you a single other detail about it. But you will see Matt Cohen as you have never seen him before. I assure you, I'm so excited to do this job, and man, I hope you guys like what I give, because it's definitely a stretch for me. It's somewhere that I've never kind of gone or never had the chance to go, but I think I could pull it off. So I'm super excited for you guys to see this, and you probably, I don't know, maybe see it by June, July, August, sometime like that. But I'm super pumped about that. And back to your question. Did I answer it already?
Probably.
Wow, you're about as vague as I am.
No, I'm just kidding.
This makes for an awkward back and forth. Thank you.
You're welcome.
What am I doing? Can you tell I'm jet lagged? Jeez. Hi.
Hi. First of all, I'm so happy to see you at JIB10 again.
Yeah,
Thank
me
you.
too. I love being here. Thank you for saying that.
And my question is, who is hottest, John Winchester or his sons?
Don't answer that.
I mean, I get the trap that you're setting for me here. But that being said, and you could put this shit on Twitter and YouTube. The Johns are the hottest Winchesters. The Johns! Young John, current John, because I don't